evening, all. I'm Epstein, and here we are with your weekend edition of your metal market wrap-up. And this is for Friday, the 27th of September, 2024. Hope you have a great weekend. Hope you're not in the areas that are getting hit by Hurricane Helene, because it is going to be rough. It's going to impact Illinois. We will be getting rain starting tomorrow and Sunday, they said. Tennessee, Kentucky, Georgia, Carolinas, I mean, a lot of places. I just talked to someone in Sarasota, and they had the worst storm they've had in a century off of this. You know, you didn't even hear Sarasota being mentioned much on the Weather Channel, and that's what I just heard. All right, so in the gold, down $26 today. Silver down 52 cents. That's a bounce. It was down 70-something. And the copper market finally starting to give in. Now, what we know, a week ago the Fed joined the party with rate cuts, right? Did a 50 basis point one. Today we had some PCE data. No reason for the Fed to be worried about those cuts. The inflation is falling just as they want. I was watching today Loretta Mester, and you know who she is. She was a Fed member. And as she was saying, it's going just the way the Fed wanted it to go. Now they're going to keep their eye on the jobs numbers, and that means they'll keep pulling the trigger, being they're going to cut rates, make sure that they get a soft number out of that. But they got to be careful. They don't want inflation to flare up again. Before we get too far, let's take a look here. You get the September Chicago PMI number, so that'll be a nice number to see Monday morning. It generally doesn't move the market. It's expected a little bit of improvement to 46.7 from 46.1. The Dallas Fed Reserve Bank will come out with their monthly regional manufacturing outlook, and it has not been good. We'll see if they get a pickup because of the cuts in rates. Baker Hughes, their weekly U.S. rig count fell one on the week to 587. We're down about 36 rigs from last year. The fiscal year comes to an end on Monday. And of course, you know that what we had also take place was China with the bazookas this week. I don't know if you're aware of it. Some of the indices there are up 26% in a week. I mean, that's monster. But they came from a low area. That's always important to look at. Now, I had promised you that I would do a silver report, and I did it. It's on the website now. So if you want to see this report, and I hope you do, it's one of my longer reports, by the way. I cover the futures, SIL, and SLV for you, so you can't say I didn't give you that. I did give you 2 looks at different seasonals in the market. I even cover what the election looks like right at that point, post and pre-election, post-elections, give you an idea of the seasonals on that. And then price counts. So I give you another area where you can see where the market might be headed. How do you get the report? Go to iraepstein.com. All one word, no dot in there. iraepstein.com. You can see it if you're watching on YouTube. You know how to spell it. Move your cursor up there. You can get it. When you go to the website, look on the top left, you'll see Silver Market Report. Give it a click and away you go. Can't be any easier for you than that. I did send out emails to everybody about it as well. So now let's go and take a look at what the markets look like. So if we take a look at the market today and we take a look at how gold has done for the month, because the month's almost over, right? We have one more day. You're up nearly 5.5%. It's going to be very hard for it not to close in an all-time high gain on the week. And it's going to be hard for it not to close on the month, I should have said, with a monthly big gain. So look for that to be the case as I see it. So when we take a look again, I keep wanting to say silver because I just did the report. Same thing here. And for the week, we were up 0.84%. Now, if you look at the chart, it hasn't backed off. Why? Because you got the Fed doing a 50 basis point cut. The European Central Bank is committing, from everything I'm reading, to go every meeting forward, a 1/4 point cut. Everybody's joining in on the down. I expect the Bank of England now to be ready to join into the party at any point. That's probably going to come. And then we had China come out with the bazookas. So it's everything. It's bank reserve ratios cut. Mortgage rates going to be cut. $284 billion of equivalent selling of bonds to give money into the different provinces to help them get through this dire period of poor real estate, lowering the amount you put down for a second home, lowering requirements in big cities to buy a place, even your initial place, even for foreigners coming in. So they're pulling out the guns. They're not through. The Politburo and President Xi came out, and when they say that, believe me, they don't have to get people's permission. They just go and do it. So I do believe this is a huge, huge turnaround. And on my on my ETF and stock video, I'm going to cover Wynn Resorts tonight because to me it looks like a big bottom is forming. That doesn't mean people are running tomorrow to the resorts. Understand that? But they're doing what's necessary, and this thing takes time, but everything they're doing, I think, will work. As we look at the gold chart, you can see that. Well, why? Because it's all inflationary. China needs to spur demand. Inflation thinking in my head. U.S. cutting interest rates, inflationary. Europe cutting rates. What does everybody want to do? They want to spur on their economies without creating inflation. Okay, but that's a big trick. You got to stop the inflation from falling eventually. They don't want to do that just yet. People want to get business going, so it starts with the business going, then the demand for the goods creating the inflation. But these are futures markets. They're not about yesterday, they're about the future, right? And they're anticipating that coming into the market. As you look at the run, you're staying over key moving averages, the 18-week, the 100, the 200, and what's held the market to a degree within check here has been just like riding a horse. You got the bridle on it, and the market's holding the Bollinger Band. Now, we've had what we call that Gorilla Glue Bollinger Band from back here, right through there. So this market's now had it for 4 more weeks in addition from when that first came on. It's getting a little long in the tooth. Look for pullbacks, and when they come in, I think you want into that market off of them because you still have an embedded reading. If the red line closes under 79, then I see more of a correction happening. Until that happens, I'm in that bull camp. In silver, you know, I've been looking on the gold-silver ratio to see if we're going to get to the point where the silver can start gaining. Notice how you're very close for the first time back to that key moving average. And in the silver, here you are up to the Bollinger Band for the very first time. You haven't done that since May of this year, May. Here we are going into October. So you've come up, see my report, it'll give you an idea how I'm viewing that. When we look at the copper market, it did what we were hoping. Remember back here when we fell, I said, this is where I think the pros are coming out. You can go back, you can go look at the videos, they're up there, and I said, I don't know, I think the pros are covering their shorts. I can't see them in a market like that that's oversold into these 2 averages. Little did I know you were going to pick up and run 60 cents. I wish I had known that. You wouldn't see me here. Put everything on it and you're gone. But this is the first move over that 18-week. This has not been an easy trade if you've wanted to be bullish. You ought to be buying against the grain to do it. And I think you realize you were up 7% this week on China, China, China. That's what this is about. In the platinum, same thing. So as people are cutting rates, as big economies are trying to get their economies to get soft landings or out of, in China's case, a deflationary spiral to get the people to buy things, the metal markets come alive on that. Will they get ahead of themselves? Of course they will. That's the nature when you're making a turn in a market. But that's also the opportunity. In the dollar, my concern has been that you're down to the 200-day moving average and the Bollinger Band. Understand me. I am fundamentally very bearish the dollar. I happen to think we're going into this area. But I'm concerned that right here you can get a bounce for no reason other than technical, so my advice is caution, all right? Sell rallies? Absolutely. Do we have an embedded reading? Absolutely. Where? I'll let you figure that one out. My subscribers get that from me in the morning. So again, if you want to see the silver report, Simply go to iraepstein.com. It's on the top left. You have a great weekend. I'll catch up with everybody Monday morning.